Hello and welcome to our bullet journal setup for 2024. So what you're going to need today is some watercolour paints, some paintbrushes. I've got some quite slim, skinny ones, fine liner pen and a felt tip pen. I've gone for black. You can also go for navy. And if you have it, gold paint. So I've got this really nice shiny gold paint down here, or you could use a gold gel ball pen or some kind of gel pen. Gold paint pen would work just as well. So let's have a little look at what we are creating today. So here is my 2024 Celestial vibe, which is going to kind of give us our theme for January as well. So you've got your main 2024 entry page, and then you've got a page to list your goals out, and then a spare page for your vision board, which if you haven't done yet, you'll see the tutorial on Patreon or on YouTube for that. So let's have a look at the templates that I've included for you. I've done them in colour so you can get a really good idea of where we're going. And then you've got just the titling if you wanted to cut these out or use these as stickers to put into your planner, into your journal, or you can trace them over, or you can just do your own handwriting as well. That is good. So what else we're going to need for today is a cup of tea, because let me tell you, we've got some breaks, because once we've done the watercolour background, we need to leave it to dry. So get yourself a cuppa and your paints and join me in a moment. Okay, so let's have a little look. A lot of the stuff we're going to be doing today is a really simple watercolour splodge, but there are a couple of shapes that we're going to add into our details. So first of all, it's a starburst. We're going to start with a really simple straight line. I'm going to do this really large just so we can get an idea of what it's going to look like. I'm just going to extend that a bit so it's even. So we've got an even cross. We're actually then going to go straight through the middle of those and then straight through the middle of those. A bit like a star or a snowflake. Then between each of these, we're going to come up halfway, just like this. And that's going to be either side, so you can take that line straight through actually, or you can draw each one individually. And that is like our starburst star shape. We've also got a 5-pointed star. We used to do these loads, didn't we? I haven't worked out a really foolproof method, but I feel like if I just keep going, it works out better, just not thinking about it and going like that. That doesn't look great. Let's try again. But I think the more that I try and get them even, because I used to start like this, but I feel like I get down to these kind of corner bits. Oh, that does look better. But then I kind of panic. Okay, that's better. We do it like that. They look way cuter when you do them small like that, see? And we'll be doing them teeny tiny, in which case I do think it's easier to do like that when you're doing them really small. The next thing is so straightforward. It's a circle. It's a splodge, tiny little dots, big, small, however you want. You can use a fine liner. You can go in with the fibre tip on a felt tip pen if you want to be a bit quicker. For the little ones, you can use, if you've got a Tombow, you can use just the fine tip and dot around. That's all we're doing. Those are our shapes. So let's have a look at the first part, shall we? Let's get a nice clean page. So over here, I'm going to start with my watercolour, and I'm using all of these lovely blues, just a mixture of blues. I've kind of pre-mixed it. I use this little ramekin look. Get some water. Can you see? Let's There we go. A mix of purples and blues. I don't know what set you've got. Mine's actually a Japanese watercolour, so it doesn't match up to a lot of the UK kind of colours. And also, I wouldn't be able to give you the information because it's all in Japanese symbols. So, not great if you don't speak Japanese. But in terms of colours, I've got different blues from navy to indigo with a little bit of purple, and I'm going to start by just putting, my water's already quite blue because I have used it to do my own my own journal. So I'm just marking a squidgy mess with the water. Then going to go in with a bit of paint and just dab it on and just kind of spread it round. There is no, I know this can annoy people, but there's no right or wrong here. Absolutely nothing. So you can just do wherever you want the paint to go, wherever you want it to be heavier, wherever you want it to be lighter. You just do you. I actually prefer this colour to the one that I've done on my own journal, but I sometimes find that, I don't always find that, but sometimes I do my journal first and then I do the tutorial one with you and I'm like, oh, I prefer my tutorial one. So that's what we're doing. Just keep adding wherever you want. If you want it a bit darker in some places, a bit moodier, you can add a heavier colour in. Okay, I feel I'm fairly happy with that. I can blur the edges around if I want, just to take it a bit lighter around the edges. That's just using water. Like I say, the paper is really good, but you can't, it's not watercolour paper, so it's got kind of like a saturation limit. So don't go too heavy with water on the brush. Or if you're working with watercolour paper, knock yourselves out. Okay, so I'm just kind of blurring these edges a bit over here. Okay, now I'm happy with that. What I'm going to do now is one of my favourite bits. So I'm loading up the paint on my brush and I'm going to hold it over and I'm just going to splatter. Did you see that? I'm going to make a right old mess, but I love it. Also, I want it to go onto that second page as well, because we're going to do other things over there. So I'm quite happy for that to splatter. And we're just going to give it a bit of splish splosh. And if it's not doing what you want, you can go a bit closer and kind of direct it a bit more with your finger there if you want it. Can you see that? I'll zoom in a bit just to show you how that's working out for me. Right, so once you're kind of happy with your splodges, we're going to leave it. We're going to leave it to dry. So go have a bit of a cuppa and we shall come back and meet again in a moment. Okay, so that's pretty much getting to dry, but whilst it's still having a little bit longer to dry, what I'm going to do is this side's dry. I'm going to start with my 2024 cover page on that side. So you can freestyle this or you can put some pencil rubbings on the back there. I just want to know where it's centre and I want an idea of where this circle needs to be. So I'm just going to trace through there just to give me an idea of that circle. And then we can really easy trace through just to give you a guide of where you want the 20, make sure it's straight, I think. 2024 is going to be. So hopefully you've had time to also look and put some vision boards together, because we'll stick these into your journal as well. So you've got a really faint, I don't even know if you can see it's that faint, but we've got a really faint idea of where 2024 is going to go. And then I've managed to find two circular items. One is a shot glass. I don't even know where that's from. And the other one is a lid to, I don't know, like it actually holds my paintbrushes in. And they fit quite nicely inside each other. So it's going to give me two similar size circles. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my gold paint. So if you don't want to do it this way, you can freehand it with your gold pen. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, let's just pull my paint pad over here. It's this gold here, which is really, really lovely. I just need to clean my brush off because it's quite blue. We don't want that. And get some liquid in here and get this working round. So there we go, you can see it's a lovely shimmery golden gold. And what I'm going to do is then run this gold just around this side of the shot glass. And then I'm going to put the shot glass kind of in line with that circle that I've traced over, just so I know where it wants to be. And that gives me a gold circle. Let me zoom in a little bit so I can show you. There we go. So I've got like a gold painted circle. I'm going to do the same thing with my larger circle. Again, just paint around really rough because I like it where it's missing colour here and there. So just going to do that around the edge. And this is the tricky part, is trying to line it up so it's equal. Let's see if we can do it about there. Fingers crossed. Oh, it's not quite equal. That's fine. Never mind. It does annoy me a little bit. It's fine. It looks cool. It's going to look cool. And then down on the 24, the full part, I wanted a dotted line. So again, you can do this yourself. You could just do a dotted line with your paint or with your paint pen. But I'm going to try, oh, let me just rub off the excess. I'll just get rid of that because we've just used that. I don't want any of the paint to still be on it. So I've just rubbed that off on another sheet. And I'm going to do dots on this one. It's hard to see because I've already painted gold on it before. So I'm just going to dot the paint and hopefully this will give us a dotted line. Again, like I say, if not, you can use just dots around a circle. You can draw a circle out with pencil, kind of dot your own gold pen or gold paint around. Or you could just freehand it, doesn't have to be exact. Right, let's go in again, see if I can get this lined up correctly. So what I'm going to do on this side, which is probably a better idea, is go for the larger circle first. Because then you'll be able to see whether the inner circle's going. That would have been a better way around to do it, wouldn't it? But you live and learn. Okay, so we're going in with a smaller circle, same idea, just dotting the paint around. Again, I've rubbed some of the paint off that was left from my last full circle that I did. So I'm not quite sure where I started and where I finished. Let's just try it. We can always fill it in. Easier to see this way round. So do it this way round. Do your larger circle first. And then anything that you want to add in, you can just add that in. Because you've got a line to kind of follow now. You can just dot, fill in the gaps. Or you could freehand it, like I said. You could just start with a drawn pencil line and add it in. Okay, so there we go. That's our kind of detailing there. And then if you want, you can use some of your gold paint to do some extra splish splashes. Why not? And I might just zoom out and we're going to go. So looking at the template, we've got our gold detail that goes over the top. So again, if you wish to, you can colour in some pencil on the back, lay it over, and just trace that over, or you can freehand it however you like. I forgot to actually do this in our earlier tutorial. I forgot that we do have some moon shapes, but we'll go through that in a second. Okay, so we're going to go and work in on this side of the page. I've put a slight pencil mark where I want things to go, but I'm going to keep this just kind of in front of me so I can follow where I need to go. We are going to be using gold, so I'm going to use my gold paint, but you can use a gold pen. My gold pen just doesn't seem to be showing up because I don't have a gel. I think gel pens will work better on this, but I'm going to go in with my paint. So I'm just loading up a really delicate, I don't know what is it, 0, it must be 0 point something, but it just says 0 on it. That's not going to help. Sorry, I don't know what it is. It's a 0, 0, 0. But these are Chinese paintbrushes. So again, I'm not sure if it works differently with UK things, UK sizing. So just going in with our kind of semi-circle here. I do think if you're using a pen, it might be a lot easier to control, especially when you're doing the finer lines, but let's see where we get with the paintbrush. I'm just going to take that round so it fills out that circle. There we go. And then there's like a dotted line. I've got a squeaky table, sorry about that. And then I'm going to go in and do the moon, because then I know kind of where I need to join my lines to. This is such a lovely gold paint. I think these are, I'll tell you what, I'll find the detail of the paints and I will put it in the comments, because I think the Curatake, if that's how you pronounce it. I used to use a lot of their poster pens. They did these zig poster pens, which are amazing for chalk sign writing, especially like when I did a lot of stuff for weddings. It's just, it would really show up, a bit like the Posca. So I wonder if you could get like a gold Posca, if that would work. It's the paint pens that would work better in this situation, or the gel, because it will sit on top rather than trying to colour it in. It's kind of a paint pigment sitting on top of your already watercolour background. So I've got my moon and my kind of, what we're going to call that? I guess it's a crescent moon, and then you've got a phase of the moon above you. I'm just going to do this line here. Oh, it's gone way thicker than I wanted it to, but you know, for the purpose of the camera, that's going to show up lovely. And then just a kind of dotted detail line down to our moon. So then we've got kind of these other moons or planets to the side there. We've also got 2 crescent moons up here, so I'm putting those in. This might be a lot easier with a pen, but we'll do it with this for now. And then this crescent moon's got some kind of smaller moons to the side of it. Let me get a bit more water on my brush. Okay, so then we're going to come in over this side. Oh, try not to get on my, where I've already wet. This table's very squeaky, isn't it? I don't normally work on this side of the table when we're doing our videos, but I don't know if you saw my Instagram, but we made a lovely kitchen seating area. So I'm now stood at the end. Also, I feel light's a little bit better over here because we are losing the light today and every day. Can't wait. We're now over the shortest day of the year, so it's only going to get better from here, which is amazing news. So then I'm going to come in. What we've got is almost kind of like, you know, they look almost like jewellery, like earrings, I thought, almost hanging down from our moon. And we've got some kind of stars in there and some dotted lines. Shall I zoom in? It's difficult to see, isn't it? Because we're working quite detailed and small. I hope everyone had a good Christmas, by the way. It's been so busy here in terms of we've had family visiting. Today is the first day that we don't have kind of family things going on, and I managed to get myself to the gym. So just wanted to still keep being consistent with my fitness journey. And then I'm working at the spa tonight. So I wanted to get this done for you. I know it's late, but it just never pans out. I looked at last year and I uploaded it exactly the same day last year, the 30th of December. So I need to be more organised next year, that is for sure. And I'm not sure if we're going away, so I need to be even more organised because we will need this done before I go away. So we were thinking about doing a Christmas away from the family home, and just with other family members and renting somewhere. So definitely need to get myself organised, don't I? Okay, let's zoom out a bit so we can see where we're up to. I've had a little star at the bottom there, and then I'm just going to go in and I've got this idea of another kind of, what will we call it? It's a bit like a mobile. I was thinking, you know, like a child's. We should do that, or like a kind of dream catcher almost. Giving me dream catcher, celestial dream catcher vibe. But I'm loving, if you know me, you know I'm into all things celestial and spiritual. So I really loved this idea for this month's spread. And actually we did do something very similar. Our very first spread was a celestial spread, but it was nowhere near as exciting as this one. I want to make this one a little bit longer. So that's fine. I'm just going to add on some dots. Take it down a bit. There we go. And do I want something over there? I feel like I want something here. Maybe put a little star or a circle. It turned into a blob, so it's now a circle. And that's what we do. That's how we fix things. So that's our main kind of illustration that goes on there. The rest is pretty much fit it in as you wish. Those little stars, some big stars, dots in gold and dots. I've actually gone and done dots in black just so it stands out a bit more. Let me just do this kind of starbursty star over here. Is that on screen? Let me zoom in for you. Just so you can see. Again, these kind of more detailed strokes would be better with a pen, but you can do it with a paintbrush if you've got a small paintbrush. So there we go. Just fill in those little bits in. There we go. So that's that. What I'll do is I'm gonna speed up because otherwise the video is gonna be really long. I'm gonna just add in circles and stars and dots, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so I'm happy with my kind of setup there, and what I'm going to now do is pop in my 2024. So I have roughly marked out in pencil where I want the numbers to go. So you want them in the circles to start with as well, the ones that have circles. So I'm just gonna use the brush side of my Tombow pen, and it's just Tombow black. A little bit difficult here because I've gone slightly over, so I just want to move that slightly over a bit. Am I still on screen yet? So I need to, I don't know, get some WD-40 on the table or something. So that's using the kind of thick side to the Tombow really gives you a nice straight line. There we go, 2024. And then the last thing to do is to add in your stars and details to your cover page side. So I'll speed up the camera whilst I pop in the details, and I'll join you back here. Okay, so there we go. There is our cover page for 2024. So the next thing to do is, when this is dry, it should be fairly dry, we want to make space for our vision board and our goals, which is really straightforward. So you can trace through or freehand it. You can add some watercolour behind here if you wish. I did do that on mine, but for the sake of today I'm not going to, just because I'll have to wait for that to dry. So what I am going to do is just put some pen behind. So I'm just going to do a line like that. And then what I like to do with my goals is use just a lighter colour, just to kind of give you a guide, because it's quite difficult sometimes to see where you're going when you are using dotted paper and you're writing. So I'm just going to do alternate lines, and that's where I'm going to write down my goals. So my vision board's going to fit in nicely on that side, and I'm just going to use black Tombow to do my titling. Zoom in for you. So we've got, oh, I should have done it using kind of like the calligraphy heavier downstroke, but you can just do as you please. Okay, so 2024 in there, and then I'm going to use the finer side for writing goals, and then I'm just going to write vision up here, and then we've got just a little idea. So you can actually put your vision board directly into here if you want to just only do it in your journal. You could just print out some small images and stick it into there, and then you can kind of decorate this however you feel. If you want, you can kind of go in and do some more dots and some stars. You can paint it however you feel, but that should give you your 2024 setup to then get started on our January bullet journal layout. So our next video will be for creative members only, so this video is available to everybody, but if you're interested and you like what we've done here, come and join us on our creative tier, where we do this type of thing every month. So enjoy 2024, guys. Let's get your vision board down. Let's get your goals written in, and let's get ready to journal this year. I'll see you soon.